So, hello and welcome to another edition of Behind the Scenes interview. Today, I'm joined by Gabriel Revolta We, the jungler for INTZ Esports from Brazil. So, Gabriel, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
So, I just want to make clear, if you don't understand a certain thing that I say in English, don't worry. I still speak Portuguese. I'll try my best to translate it. So, first of all,
Okay.
congratulations on winning the XMA Mega Arena yesterday against Pen Gaming. So, what are your thoughts on the series yesterday?
Eu não entendi. Como assim?
Então, assim, tipo, qual que são, como foi a série contra a Pen, suas ideias dos jogos e tudo? Como foi os jogos, assim?
Mm, we didn't have like enough time to prepare like properly to the tournament, just because when we won CBLoL the next day we just traveled to Turkey, and then when we came back to Brazil, it was like uh, a day before XMA, so it was like we had a day to practice it and prepare like everything in CNB and Pain or Keat. Uh, but I think it was a good series for us. You know, we learned a lot on on our scrims and the tournament itself. I think it was good.
All right, so let's get a bit back, and before we go on to your career, I want to ask you, how did you get into esports in the first place?
Uh, I think it's like what happened to everyone I know in Brazil, which are like old school players. Uh, we were mostly playing on NA and with friends and stuff like that, and we got like platinum, which was like the best. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah, season one
before
was the
diamond.
best. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was talking to a friend, and he said, "Oh, let's make a team. Let's see how it does." Then we were playing like tournaments for RP, and someday I just woke up and I was in São Paulo playing IEM, and it was like, oh my god, it's crazy, you know. It kind of happened like just I don't know.
It was simply there.
Yeah, something there.
Just like a dream. So, Gabriel, you have a really, really long history in Brazilian League of Legends esports. Like, you've been playing since the start of the League of Legends scene, and you played for Keed, you played for CNB, and with a few ups and downs in your career. But in 2013, there was this first international event in Brazil with the South American regions, and you were playing at the time at Kate, and Loop was still AD carry, and you dropped early on the tournament. Like, it was against Isurus Gaming, you lost the Series 2-1, and as far as I remember, it was like the big thing. Like, CNB was and Pain were the strongest at the point, and the new regions came in, and this was the biggest event at the point in time. What happened
Yeah.
with that K team that lost to the Isurus Gaming?
It was like we had a lot of problems. Loop was our support, not our ADC, but he had to change because we didn't have time to, to test another ADC, and he played the ADC in the past. So we had a lot of problems with chat calling stuff, and we didn't know each other well in terms of like gaming, in-game stuff. And I think we played with Snows at
Yeah,
time, and then after that, uh, he left the team and I left the team, so we were in like a real team at the point. So I think what happened was that Sinbi and Peng were playing like a team, and we had so many problems that we didn't know each other anymore.
All right, but was the Argentinian esports gaming that good, or was simply just internal mistakes and internal problems that caused you to lose that game?
Mm, they were strong at the point, but I think they were weaker than us, CNB and Pang. I just think that internal problems just, lost us the series. And
Yeah, sure. So, when you look back, there was like I remember this comparison by the LoL casters in Brazil. Like it was the pain in CNB rivalry was like São Paulo and Corinthians, if you compare to Brazilian football, and how much did this rivalry, this both teams influence the scene back in the day?
CNB and Pang were the two strongest teams when I was on Kid. I really don't know what happened actually. Just because when I left Kid and I joined CNB, they were like, okay, CNB and Pang were making like all the finals against each other, but
Yeah.
everyone was afraid of Kid. But we never made it to the finals. So I just don't know what happened to Kid at that point.
The curse.
But the curse. That's true. It's true.
The Brazilian curse gaming.
Yeah, yeah. No, actually, they made it to the finals this year, so it's getting
Yeah.
better. But at that point, Sinbin and Pang were making all the finals, and then we just realized that they were in the right path to to make everybody in the team like winners, and we weren't. So I think everyone learned from it.
All right, so going a bit a few months later, you left Keat and they imported Winged and Suno, and you went to CNB Esports. After this point, CNB wasn't considered the best in Brazil anymore since the arrival of the two Koreans. Kate dominated every tournament, and Payne was always a step behind. Also, the two Koreans had arrived at that point in time. However, at the 2014 regional finals, you with CNB and Kabum made a miracle happen, and you broke that winning streak of the two Brazilian teams with the Koreans, and
Yeah.
you managed to get that all hyped Brazilian final, which of course was considered one of the biggest upset in Brazilian League of Legends history. So how did you guys manage to break through the Korean dominance in Brazil? Like, it was really, I think nobody could have even expected that, according to the results of BGLOL and all the other X5 tournaments.
Dude, I can like at that time we didn't when we played against Spain we were like, okay, we're gonna play it, but we don't expect to win. Like just before the game, Melon, one of the casters, just came to me and asked, okay, what do you expect from the game? And I said, lose. Everyone was like,
That's
we
the
won't
spirit.
win against Spain. Yeah, we won't win against Spain. Like, they were the best team. They had better players, but somehow we managed to win. I think they played like Ole and Lacta were like
They were still one on the bot side and one at the top, I think, in the tournament. Yeah.
yeah.
This was, I
Lacta
think, the
was
last
playing
one.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then somehow me and Takeshi we just I don't know, we were winning like every single fight. So I don't know what happened, but Kabum managed to win Keed, and the Kabum versus Keed games were like the Koreans. I feel like the Koreans didn't trust the Brazilians anymore, and then they were not playing that well. Like Winged was by far the best jungler in Brazil, and he didn't do nothing in that series. So either did Suna. So I feel like they were not playing as a team.
Why do you think did it happen that they mistrusted Brazilian players? Like, I remember I didn't understand why they they would lose, and there were of course some team conflicts. But why do you think that happened?
To Kid or Pain?
Kid, because I don't I never felt like Pain had that internal issues as Kid did at the end of the Suno and Winged era.
I feel like the personality of the players, like getting mad when they lose, or you know,
Yeah,
when
being
people
a bit
get mad.
salty.
Yeah, when people get mad during the game, it just messes up with your head and everybody around, and then you can't play the game properly, like
Yeah,
really, really well. So I think that was the biggest problem.
yeah. Shit happens, I would say. But regarding that, I mean, they won a lot of tournaments, and how good do you think they were with the Koreans? Were they like mechanically better? Were they strategical better? Or in which aspects did they manage to be better than the all Brazilian teams at the time?
Mm, I'll talk about the junglers just because I managed to play against Winged and Daydream. And one thing they had that and any other jungler like didn't do here in Brazil is that they managed to control the game somehow. Like Daydream was like an aggressive jungler, but not in terms of 2v2, 1v1. He was like vision control, take buffs, take dragons, kill turrets. You know, he knew how to do that. Like I haven't played against a jungler that did that. And Winged was more about invading jungle, 1v1, 2v2. Like, he was an insane player. And they changed, like, the team mentality because when you invade and you have your mid laner covering you, you know, your mid laner realized that and he started doing that. And your support realized that he can go up and help you, you know. So it kind of changed the whole team, all the 5 players and the Brazilian scene.
Ah, that's interesting. That's very interesting. And I consider that you and Kabum managed to win, and you played and you lost that finals to Kabum. And according, of course, their performance at Worlds, how good were Kabum at that point in time?
Uh, Dude.
I'm sorry, I'm digging a bit in history, right?
Like, I don't feel like Kabum was strong.
Okay.
I think Kabum was they were the worst team to win. Like, the problem of that tournament was like Kid wasn't a team, Pain wasn't a team, and CNB wasn't a team. Just because when the tournament ended, like CNB disbanded, Kid had like 2 players leaving, and I think Pain did the same. I'm not sure.
No, they kept the 2 Koreans a bit longer, and
Yeah,
then they were forced to let them go because of visa issues.
also no, I think they were on Pain.
The visa issues were on Pain, as far as I remember.
No, just before the CBLoL finals that were like CNB against Kabum.
Yeah.
I think on the ADC left the team, and then it was like Lakcha and Olebot
Okay.
and Lack
Okay.
top. Yeah, I think it was that.
Yeah.
And then like all the 3 teams that were like the favorites to win just changed everything because like they were not a team, and Kabum was a real team there, and they managed to win because of like they played like a team. They didn't play like CNB played like around me and Takeshi. Not it wasn't around like the 5 players. If our bot lane needs help, like we were just ignoring them because
Okay.
we don't want to be a team, you know. It was more like that.
We do our stuff, you do your stuff, and then we meet us in
Yeah.
the mid game. All right.
Yeah.
So very slow queue style. So yeah, but by the end of the year, you joined again the key team, and well, you won the BGL season 1. Why didn't you stay playing with them?
Uh, I feel like that team was the best team at the moment. Like even with Pain being that strong with Olan Lacta, but we had like I think we had the dream team. Like me, Mylon, Takeshi, BRTT, and Loop at that point, and the personality of the players, the ego,
Mm,
uh, and a lot of stuff that happened, just made our I don't know. We didn't have problems in game. We did understand each other. We knew what everybody wanted to do, but when we were about to talk about something, we didn't like each other at all. So
okay.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
there was like more business than friendship involved.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had some personal problems, also healthy problems that I didn't manage to fix just because I had some problems with kids organization.
Okay.
And then I went back to home, and in 4 days I managed to fix everything. But when I was about to come back, they said, "No, you're not playing. I am." And then the whole stuff just happened. And
Okay. That's some weird stuff happening. That's well. That's what happens behind the scenes, I guess. But that's why I'm here. Um, so yeah. Then how did you come from this situation to join INTZ? Like you got rejected by your old team, and you now need a new one. Like how did that happen? Did INTZ contact you because their jungler was about to leave, or how did everything happen?
like everyone trusted me just because when Key told me that I wasn't playing I am because of my problems that I had, and I said I'm ready to play. I don't know why you're doing it, but they kept their decision. I did respect it. I didn't talk anymore about it. If that's what they wanted to do, that's okay, fine for me. Uh, but I had like a month waiting after the IM, and they didn't contact me to say anything. So INTZ contacted them, and they said, "Okay, we want Revolta, and Joko is leaving," which was their old jungler.
Yeah.
And then Key just said, "Okay, Revolta is free. You can have him, no problem." And yeah, it was just like that.
The rest is history. And well, that's seems like a very usual procedure. Yeah. Okay, I don't even know how to pronounce the word, so I just left that out. I will cut it. No, no worries. No. Well, INTZ took the Brazilian scene by storm. So what happened? Like, were you simply just a good fitting team? Were you two steps ahead, or when this season started, the first CBLoL season, were the other Brazilian teams simply not ready or weaker than before, or it's like INTZ super team that came out of nowhere?
Like when I was on Keyed, we had a lot of problems talking about the game and talking about stuff outside of the game, and I didn't manage to change people, just like I think I did here. Like I didn't do much in terms of gaming stuff, like change the players' style, how they play. What I did here was more like motivational stuff and just change their mentality. Like when I joined here, they were okay. We want to be like, if we make it to third place, that's fine. And then I came and I said, if you're gonna spend your life here, let's be the best. You know, let's fucking lose our life, our time, whatever. Just give up everything and let's play this fucking game. And that's what we did. Like I feel like we don't have the best players individually speaking. Uh, like, but I feel like we have the best team. You know, we know how to work. We know how to.
You play simply as a one-man army.
Yeah. We help each other. We know our strats. And we do it properly. You know, if
Yeah.
Talkers has a problem or I have a problem, we talk, and we don't feel like mad if I tell him like you're wrong here. He'll listen to me. I'll listen to him, and we'll take a conclusion. We'll not be mad with each other, so we can work as a team.
Yeah, that sounds like a very good motivational speak you made for them. So it seemed to work. Like I can, you should be really glad of the work you are doing right now there, because you really just worked against the hype. Like I was so hyped for seeing like PRTT back in pain, or wow, new CG Entos X players coming to Kid. This will be awesome. And wait, who's INTZ? They're crushing everybody. What's happening right now? So, you played the regular season like I think you only tied up with Keith and Pain Gaming, and you won against everybody else. And what happened in the regular season? Were that you didn't manage to beat those two teams that were the most hyped? Like, were Pain and Keith so strong, or how strong are they, or what happened?
I think both games we lost against Spain and Keed were because we were a new team. You know, we had a lot of problems. Like, INTZ didn't. Before I joined INTZ, they weren't like the winners. Like, they were not the best team. They were not like pressured for when, you know, when they came to a game, they were like, okay, we need to win this. They were not like that. And when we faced Keed and Pain, and we got an advantage, we were like, okay, we need to win. Let's go fast. And we were like, we didn't think about what to do because we were so worried about losing. You know, that we were just like, let's finish the game. I don't care. Let's go.
Problems closing out the game.
Yeah. We were not thinking at all, so we lost 2 games.
Oh, wow.
But we learned.
Yeah,
we learned.
that's the important thing right there. So, so let's take a look at the coming season, right? You took the scene by storm. You won the first season of CBLoL, and now coming the new roster changes of Pain and Keith, like they switch top laners, and I don't know who will be the next swapping. Maybe Kami and Takeshi will be the next, or I don't know. But they are roster swapping back and forth. And do you think they will maintain as strong? They will maintain as a threat for you guys for the next coming season?
I feel like Kid is weak right now, but they have good players. They can become better, but I feel like Pain right now is stronger.
Yeah.
Like Pain is probably the strongest team. I don't know if they're the strongest team. I feel like it's like INTZ and Pain right now.
Yeah. You're
everybody
on
else
the same
are
level,
behind.
And then everybody else down there. All right.
No, I feel like we are a step ahead just because we are together
for a longer time.
For a longer time. So yeah, but they will become a threat.
All right. So
either the Kid.
All right. So before we continue talking about the future in the next season of CBLoL, let's take a step back and look at the white card tournament that you achieved second place. So sorry that I'm digging some bad memories, or I don't know. But well, so you had that first day performance where everybody just used the word jet lag, and you said sleep is OP and we're gonna crush on day 2, and you crushed on day 2, and which is interesting because you lost again in the finals against the ones you bet in that the second day, like really destroying them hard. And well, so how first, before we go into the final series, where I already talked with your coach about it, but I want to hear your thoughts on it as well later. But first of all, how would you compare the Brazilian teams towards the other wildcard regions?
I feel like we're better in terms of being a team. You know, we had more strategic stuff to play against them, but something that annoys me is that we didn't have time. You know.
Yeah, you had like 2 days and you were just traveling.
No, we didn't have even a day. We just wanted the CBLoL, and the next day we were traveling by morning. So yeah, we didn't have time. The first day we basically didn't sleep. We managed to sleep like 2 hours, 3 hours. So yeah, the tournament was like shit for us. But we managed to make it to the finals. Unfortunately, we lose.
Wow.
We lost. But yeah.
Did you still learn anything from the whole tournament? I mean, what did you take from the tournament? Like, if you look back, you had this whole stressful experience. Of course, you didn't have time to prepare. You didn't have enough sleep to play on your best. But if you look back and you scrimmed against EU teams, you played against teams from other regions, what could you take as a player and as a team from the tournaments?
If we didn't make it to Turkey, I feel like we would have lost to Spain yesterday, just because what we learned playing against EU teams probably made us win against Spain, because we were stomped. Like for the first time, we were stomped like against a good team. We played against a good team, you know, and they managed to find our weaknesses.
Yeah.
And like doesn't matter how much you play. Like in the past, Kid was the best team together with us, along with us, and if we screen against Kid, it's gonna be a close game. They're good, we're good. But when we played against some EU teams, they were like just shitting on us, and we didn't understand how. You know, we were like so perfect at the moment, and we were like, "What the fuck are they doing?" And then we managed to learn a lot of things playing against EU teams.
After
And,
the confusion stopped.
yeah, and yeah, the tournament is good for us, even losing. Like the whole international experience, and you know, we felt a lot of pressure in the finals.
Yeah,
So it was the first time we felt pressure, and the first time we really lost something big, and then we needed to help each other, you know, to keep us as a team, just not like, okay, you fed, you play like shit. I don't like you anymore.
You're
couldn't
out of the
happen.
team.
Yeah, it couldn't happen. Like we needed to help each other. That kind of helped us a lot.
That sounds of a good team environment. So good work on that. So I'm sorry that I have to bring this up, but let's
Oh
talk
my God.
about the beautiful final games. Like, well, you lost against Besiktas, and as I was talking with your coach, and well, of course, he said Revolta played like. No, I shouldn't say that. No. He praised your play, he praised your good work, and however, you still lost in the rotations and mid-game, late-game decisions. And what could you take from that series? Like, as I was watching VODs of you guys, you had a decent early game, you had good lane swapping, you had the communication for it. But what did you take from from that series, and looking at your own mistakes, and what could you learn from the mid and late game rotations?
Uh,
I'm sorry.
That's hard to say. Just because I don't think the INTZ which played against Besiktas is the same INTZ that played against Keed and played against Pang. I feel like all the five players weren't at 100% potential. You know,
Okay.
a lot of people felt pressure, and some rotations are just like our ADC sees something and he goes and do it. He's gonna tell us, okay, I saw it, I'm gonna do it, and then we start preparing, and that's just an example, and it didn't happen. We're just like not talking at all of what matters. We were trying to do something, like trying to make the good call. We didn't talk about the game before. We didn't like. We came into the game like we had a plan for the early game and mid game, but we didn't talk before the game. If the late game comes, what we're gonna do? What are we going to do? What are we good at staging? Are we good at team fighting? Are we good at just stuff like that we usually do before the game? Then when the late game comes, we know what to do. We're good in team fights. Let's bait Baron. Let's do the Baron bait. We could do that in that game. And when I was rewatching the game, like I was like, oh my god, why are you going for a tier 3 turret? That doesn't make any sense. And then we didn't realize that during the game. We were so lost that, yeah, fucking finals, man.
Well, at least you learned a bit better how to play under pressure, and I think you learned a few things as well. And well, I hope to see you again in the next year's finals again, or even at the World Championship that you can still qualify for. And
I hope so.
My last question in this section of international wildcard, and you mentioned that you scrimmed against a few EU teams, and is there actually a possibility that Brazilian teams and other Latin America teams have been scrimming or could scrim? Or are you scrimming like Isrus Gaming from Argentina or any other Latin American teams?
We don't usually scream against the other teams out of Brazil, just because when they play in Brazil, they have some ping issues, and when we are playing CBLoL, we usually prioritize the teams that are in CBLoL.
Yeah, sure.
For example, we are at first, Kid is at second. We're gonna play Kid. We make like 5 screens per week against Spain. Just because they are the third team, they're the best team, to play against. And if there's Azures saying like, oh, we went to Scream, and the fourth place is like, we went to Scream, we're gonna scream against the fourth place just because we know them and we think they're better.
Yeah, sure. That's a reasonable reason to scrim against Brazilian teams, and wow, it will take time that everybody is on a similar level of skill anyway. So let's talk a bit about the future of the Brazilian scene. Like, you have been there from the start, from the first tournaments, from online tournaments, playing with 200 ping and going to the first lands in Brazil, the first mega arena and all stuff like that. And of course, I am Brazil, that was still the most hyped event in Brazil, I think, till today, and the last few events in Brazil. If you think about the addition of CBLoL, how well did the scene improve?
Like, in terms of play style and in-game stuff, I think the Koreans helped us a lot. Just because Brazil has good players. We have good players, mechanically speaking.
Yeah.
But the problem is that when we come into a level that, like, we were at the CBLoL Finals, like, doesn't matter we scrim against, I don't know, we're facing kids, so we couldn't play against them. and we play against like Pain. Okay, we're probably gonna win the game. We will do a few mistakes. We're gonna learn from it, but that doesn't make you better at all. You're just fixing little problems that won't make you improve as
Yeah.
much as you can. And we learned it playing against EU teams, just because uh, we saw us doing like so many shitty movements that they were like, okay, why are you doing this? We're just gonna stomp you. And then we realized that we did so many mistakes that we can fix, and we can, see other teams doing it and just like repeat what the EU teams were doing against us. So that's why I said that. I feel like playing against EU teams helped us win Pain. We saw them doing things that we did before when we were screaming them, and we could pressure. We could we had many ways to pressure them.
Yeah. So right. So um, I could call CBLOL's winter season actually OGN in Brazil because now that your sister team in Red and Kate Warriors qualified, we have the same situation that we had in Korea, like in OGN. Like they had the sister teams. Like right now, our two INTZ teams, two Kabum teams, two K teams, and Pain and CMB on the next CBLOL split. So. How much do you think can this improve Brazil? Or could this backfire and set the Brazil scene back because less orcs involved, and might there be a problem with challenger teams like not having orcs funding them and supporting them? What do you think about this?
I think next year it's gonna change. I don't feel like an org will have like two teams in CBLOL, but right now I feel like it's fine. We're just improving the scene. It's not as big as NA, EU. It's not even close, but we're getting better. We're improving our scene, and in terms of like gaming, in terms of the game, uh, it makes the game interesting because having our sister team on the CBLOL just make us scream like more against them instead of playing against Pain, just making them know how we play, know how is our style going for, know what we're trying to do. We can do it against them. We trust them. They trust us. You know. And right now I feel like INTZ Red is probably the third best team or the fourth best team in Brazil. So they are improving. They're helping us improve, and it's kind of helping each other.
All right, so I think we should all be excited for the next split. So, if you compare the scene to the rest of the world, how far would you think Brazil's behind, or is Brazil even that far behind?
When we played against the U teams, like before we played against U teams, we were like, okay, we're not that behind. But when we played against some, EU LSS EU teams, we realized that we were a lot behind. In terms of individual skill, individual knowledge of the game, team knowledge of the game. Um, you know, I feel like if we played today a Challenger series on U, we would be like fighting for the first three places. But I'm not sure if we could make it to the LCSU because we were about to improve if we played against them. But right now, I don't know if we're gonna make it. On EU at least. We didn't play against NA team, so I don't want to talk about them.
All right, so that's interesting. So let's hope that at the next split and with the implementation of sister teams could help fasten up that process to establish a better scene in Brazil. Well, looking back to the first season of CBLoL, what do you think will happen from now? Like having this constant CBLoL series and other tournaments around League of Legends, what do you think will happen to the esports scene in Brazil?
I think it's improving more and more, and I feel like it's gonna keep improving. Like, Brazilian fans are just amazing, you know. They fucking love esports, and it's like it's turning into football here.
Yeah.
Like the crowd, and it's just amazing. When I played in Turkey, the crowd was amazing, but
not as close.
Besiktas, yeah, but Besiktas is a football club. I didn't know that. Like, and they had their crowd there. It's unfair. But the Brazilian crowd is just amazing, and I have nothing to say about it. They're just amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and I feel like the esports in Brazil is just gonna improve more and more.
All right. So it's interesting that you to mention that, because Brazilians are so fanatic when it comes to Brazilian participating in any kind of sport. Like, as a Brazilian myself, I remember it doesn't matter which sport, like we all go insane, like shouting Brazil everywhere, wearing everything that has Brazil on it, and well, it's I don't find the same here in Germany. So they cheer up, but it's not nearly as comparable as it is in Brazil. Like, the fanatism is there. But well, a healthy fanatism. I should mention that, so nobody thinks anything wrong. Well, this was actually already my last question. So right now I have a few Twitter questions, like from a few players and people from Twitter for you, and my fun section that I ask you a few questions, like funny questions, and that you should answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. So, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
That's all. So. I think someone's scared here. He's expecting worse than it will be. Like, I'm not a mean guy. Like, I don't know how he get to this. Like, I don't know. So at Praiser Charles asked, do you think that Pain is the strongest team behind you guys?
Yes, for sure. Like right now, as we saw the CNB and Kid playing XMA, I'm sure that Pain is the strongest team along with us.
Alright, see, he also asked how to improve as a jungler. You, as a main jungler, what can you give to solo queue players to improve?
Solo queue players, I would say that you have to know you have to know every matchup in your game, just to know when they are about to you know, the winning matchup, the losing matchup. It matters a lot in solo queue. Moving your camera around the map just to get enough information, because when you play like as a team, you know, like I play on INTZ, I have enough information. They give me enough information that I don't need to keep moving my camera insanely around the map just to catch every single information, which I do in solo queue. So moving the camera is something that you can do a lot. You don't need to watch you killing the raptors.
Sure, and also just keep your eyes on the minimap, I would say.
Yeah.
Alright, so from Ed Swiper, Chiefs Esports top laner, is asking, how is he so buff?
I didn't understand the question. What it means?
How is he so buff? Like, I don't know, it's maybe an inside joke that I don't know about. Like, it's hard for me to explain you, because how is he so buff? It doesn't make even much sense, because buff would be the buff that you get from red buff, like an improvement to your skills. So how are you improved? Or I don't know. Maybe it's an inside joke that I can explain, but you should. But
I don't know. Like, okay, let's make it like How did you improve? Okay, let's like that. It's better.
just let's change the question.
um, I don't know how to answer that. Just because, uh, when I was playing on Keyed, I was like, I'm probably the best jungler in Brazil, along with Serti. I feel like me and Serti were just fighting for the first place at all the time, because we know each other for like 3 years, playing like against each other. So we were constantly fighting for the first place. I'm the best jungler. No, I am, you know. And when I first came to INTZ, I think I improved more because I played in a real team. You know, I didn't have like a real team. I think Brazil didn't have a real team before us. Like people would get good friendship, a good relationship. Uh, just I think that's more about it. Like trusting each other. You know, I think I didn't have a team that really trusted each other. You know, and here I have. So I think it makes you improve as a player and as a team.
All right. So from Chief Sangi, the manager from and owner from Chiefs, why are
Oh my God.
Revolta and Alexander Haibo the coolest people on INTZ, followed closely by Young?
Dude, I fucking love the Chiefs. I fucking love the Chiefs, man. Like on the IWCI tournament, we managed to talk like a little bit with the teams, but the Chiefs are the coolest team there, and I was fucking cheering for them. I was really sad they didn't make it to the semifinals. I don't know how to answer this question, man. I fucking love them.
Well, so shout outs to them, I guess. So all right. So are you ready for the fun questions, or are you
Oh my
still
God.
scared? Like it's nothing scary at all. Don't worry. If it would be scary, I wouldn't say that it isn't, right? So
Okay, let's go.
favorite book. It's so scary. Sorry.
My favorite book. I don't remember as exactly the name, but it's probably the 48 Laws of Power.
Okay.
I'm not completely sure that it is the exact name, but it's something like that, the 48 Laws of Power.
All right. Favorite game.
League of Legends. Does
Favorite.
it count?
Yeah, that does count. If you have some game from your childhood, let's go. But League of
Mario
Legends count.
Kart.
Okay, that sounds also pretty classic. Like, all right. Favorite band.
Pearl Jam.
That's great. Favorite movie or series or series.
Oh my God. Doctor House and Supernatural.
That sounds good. That sounds good. So, sadly, we come to an end here. Revolta, thanks for the interview. It was a lot of fun. So before we close out that interview, do you have any shoutouts left? You can also
Not
talk
really.
Portuguese here if you want to say something to your
I just want to thank you for the interview, and thanks to all the Brazilian fans, and either the people who cheers for us that are not Brazilians. If you message me, I'm gonna read that. I've written some English message on my page, and I was like, oh my God, it's so fucking amazing, you know. They're not only Brazilian cheering for us, and thank you very much for that.
Alright guys, so this was my behind the scenes with Gabriel Revolta. So if you liked the video, be sure to leave a like there. If you didn't, give a thumbs down, and if you want to share your thoughts on any topic we discussed here in this interview, or simply give me a feedback, check out the comment section down below. And of course, if you don't want to miss out on anything we do, just follow us on social media, links down below in the description. And of course, if you don't want to miss out my next video, just click on subscribe. Guys, this was Alex DrPuppet Weber. See you then. Bye bye amigos. Adios.
Bye.